Hi, guys. All right. So happy Wednesday, everybody. That means we got to get to a single storyline. I strive to get these out on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And it seems like that has been a nightmare lately of me being able to make the time for it. So I was determined we will not miss Wednesday. So here we go. We have got the Hermit. Well, possibly Virgo energy coming in, but the Hermit, along with the Seven of Pentacles, it almost seems to me like we have somebody who convinced themselves, I'm single, I'm going to stay that way. I like this. This is what my path is in life. This could be somebody that could be a feminine who told themselves, I have either a long time to still be on this more quiet journey. This could be somebody who tends to keep to themselves. This could be somebody who's in introverted mode, even if they're not always an introvert. They seem to have committed themselves to the idea that they're journeying solo, quietly through this life, at least for this spot in time. However, something is like there's a ruckus that's calling them, that's making them look back over the shoulder. And I think it's their own like subconscious saying, hey, wait a second now, we've been working on some stuff. Maybe your silent hermit's journey is not something you're actually going to stay on, because we've been chugging along down here. Your subconscious has been building and growing, and you think it's going to be another 5 years as you're going to be silent and just kind of walk your solo path. But actually, we've made some huge strides forward. We've been, mining for emeralds down here. It almost feels like we have maybe a feminine who is going to be a little surprised to discover that the idea of staying kind of withdrawn, being on a silent, like healing journey, she's way further along that journey than what she thought. She's way more solid and feeling so much better. And it's almost like her subconscious is giving her this little alarm bell, like, hey, we don't need to be out there, thinking that we're going to stay single. I don't know if this is maybe somebody who committed themselves to this, said, oh, I've been married, I've been divorced, I'm walking this path. I'm just, it's just going to be me now. This could be somebody who's like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and they told themselves, of course, I'm past that point in my life. Now's the time that I'm just reflective. I'm at a different stage in my life. And I would say this is calling our characters bluff. And it begins with their own subconscious saying, you are not old. You are not past any prime. You are very dateable. You are very lovely. There's a lot that you have to offer, and there's a lot more life you have to live. So don't go putting yourself into this silent, category over here. We have a Knight of Cups. This is good. This is really good. Either she has noticed somebody is making some googly eyes at her, and it's like, that person's checking me out. They're not supposed to check me out. I'm at a phase in my life where people don't flirt with me. Or I'm at a phase in my life where I'm not supposed to be flirting because I'm on this silent journey. Don't they know? They can't make googly eyes at me. Oh, but they can. And she should embrace this. This is somebody who was taking themselves out of the dating game for no really good reason. Hey, if we need to withdraw and heal, that's totally understandable. But this is a character who, I'm literally picturing somebody who said, I only need a twin bed because nobody's going to be sleeping beside me. I'm going to get rid of my, whatever, king size or queen size bed. I only need a twin. No, don't go changing your bedroom furniture thinking you're sleeping alone. That, I don't know why this character was so hell-bent on saying, this is the phase of my life where I'm alone. That is not true, unless our character wants it, in which case they have every right. But this is a character who I think put themselves in this category thinking that they wanted it, thinking it was necessary even. And their subconscious is kicking them a little bit saying, baloney, nuh-uh, you don't need to, you're fine. You're way more healed than you think. You got way more stability than you think. And there's this hottie over here. So let's go talk to this hottie because they want to talk to us too. All of a sudden, the idea of a 10 of Pentacles, which did not seem possible for a character. It just didn't. It now does. And I am here for it. I am so cheering this character on. I am always so excited when a character who is isolating themselves, because I do think that we humans have a tendency to think that that's what we have to do. And I would disagree with that. I think if we want to, go catch our breath, get some time solo. Of course, that's important. But to imagine that everything in life is going to take, like years to heal from, I don't think is true. And I also personally don't agree with the idea that sometimes staying away from everyone is the way to heal. I think sometimes we need to be around more laughter. We need to connect with our neighbors. We need to remember there's great people all over this world, and maybe we'd heal quicker than saying, I had a bad experience, somebody was horrible to me, and therefore I must withdraw from everyone. Sometimes it's the worst thing we could do, because then we forget all the other amazing people out there that would do so much to help us heal so much faster. I'm really more, especially at this point in history, I'm more convinced than ever we all need each other. And there are great people in this world. And if we could build communities, if we could look out for each other, if we could get to know and patronize our local businesses and get to know them by a first name basis, I think that's kind of how we rebuild stuff and hang on to humanity. That's just my opinion, but that's kind of what my intention is. So I would have to say I love this story, because this to me is like reinforcing, yeah, I hope she doesn't stay out there in the dark by herself. She got way too much value to share with her community, to share with others. And we're never too old for love, or we're never too far down some silent journey of healing that we don't still have something that maybe we could interact with others and have that extra light and enjoyment in our lives. And we all are still attractive. Humans are an attractive species, It's every single one of us has somebody that's attracted to us. It's so subjective, like what we find beautiful. We have an Ace of Pentacles. I love this for this character. She is becoming, or he, I don't really read for genders, right? It's always just about energy, but we have a character that is really, truly seeing like, oh my God, it does feel different. I'm kind of back in the game. I forgot. I've been out here by myself thinking that's where I needed to stay. I kind of forgot that there's all this other light and, noise and people to meet and people that are interested in me and that I'd be interested in talking to. And it's almost like she kind of forgot what it was like to be surrounded by, engaging energy. And I feel like this is her remembering it and coming back in to that concept that, yeah, I do have a lot to offer. Yeah, I am, like, my story's not over. I have not finished this run. I don't know why I was putting myself on the sidelines. This is somebody who benched themselves. And maybe it started out as a good idea, get some rest, sit on the bench for a bit. But then it's almost like she was slipping into that idea that this is where I'm supposed to stay. I'm supposed to just sleep in a twin bed. I'll never have another person in my life kind of attitude. And that couldn't be further than the truth. Magician. She may be meeting somebody who is similarly coming off the bench. I'll say himself, just because we have a masculine on this card. This is somebody who's getting like some wins in his own life, starting to realize like it feels good to manifest things that we want and put in some effort to get the things we want, and then have some little wins and start to like interact again and start to like, to be a part of the world that we're interacting with, that we're interfacing with. And seeing that when we smile at somebody, sometimes those people smile back at us. And when we, go out there and we put some effort into creating something, researching something that we care about, building something that we're interested in, we start to see results. And it's really encouraging and it makes us feel more empowered. And I feel like that's what his energy is. He's been, this is kind of like maybe a masculine who has a comeback story also. Because he's doing the fist pump, which you only do when you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm putting energy out. I'm going after things I care about, and I'm actually seeing results. I'm making an impact in the life that I live. So I would just argue this is two people that are coming off the benches and starting to realize maybe this dating game isn't over. Maybe this, and I don't want to call it a game either. It's just saying that, if we look at life a little bit more lightheartedly, sometimes we're going to win, sometimes we're going to lose, but it's still worth it to go to the game. It's still worth it to you just even be in the stand sometimes and cheer with everybody else. It's worth it for the experience. That's kind of what it feels like. This kind of feels like we could be dealing with two characters that are a little bit more mature age. Like they've been through experiences in life. They've been through, failed relationships. Maybe this is two people who've been married and divorced. That's more the vibe that I get. And this could be two people that are in an older age bracket, or they place themselves mentally in some older age bracket way prematurely. Um, I don't know. It just feels like there's not an age where we ever can't find love, period. But in particular, these two characters, like they're just now stepping back into like recognizing they're attractive individuals. Here she is as a Queen of Wands. I definitely think it's been a while since she went ahead, and she probably already has like some really great colorful outfit. Maybe she's been wearing a lot of just like clothes that would make her disappear. Saggy baggies, not showing off, her beautiful physique, whatever her physique is. Maybe wearing just like one color tone. Just, black is a color of protection. Black is also a very strong color, but it can also be used to hide things as much as to protect. Black is a great color and it's classic and it's elegant, but if all she was wearing, for example, was like all of her clothes were darker colors and it was just like, I'm not looking to stand out. Even though, again, black can be very classy and you can stand out wearing black, of course. But if she was using it to protect herself, to hide away, you notice that one of the first orders of business is for her to put on the most ornate, most colorful articles of clothing that she's got. She's even dressing up her cat in a little red bandana with some flashes of blue. It feels like I think our feminine is about to like symbolically start wearing more colorful outfits. Maybe start adding in a few more pops of color here and there. Maybe wear the more ornate, it doesn't have to be overtly where it's like, okay, I'm a patchwork quilt. Although honestly, this is so many different patterns. And frankly, I love it all. The more patterns, the better. If you're on Tarot Dog, later on tonight, I will finally post some video clips in the members corner of some. I hadn't had my house put together, so I didn't want to share any clips of Aries because my house was still so jumbled and boxes everywhere. And my house is finally put together, so I was filming a few clips so I can share those on Tarot Dog. I'm remiss in that, but it was just such a rough month to get my house organized. But I feel like color and patterns are something I really like. You'll notice that probably if you see the clips of what I've chosen to decorate my house as. But this is super appealing. This feels like you can't get enough pattern. You can't get enough brightness. And I would totally say I appreciate her style. I think that it looks fantastic. So yeah, I see her like getting her energy up, getting her outfits more flashy, and that's more of a visual of how she's feeling on the inside. My run isn't over. It's true, I forget. I polish up real nice. I'm going to go ahead and wear the brighter stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put myself out there. I'm going to go ahead and shine. It's interesting because she's stepping more into her power and she's realizing there's a lot of people out there that have gone through hurts and wounds. And maybe I'm actually like one of the roles I have to still play in engaging with others is maybe I'm supposed to be a healer. So the Hermit card is a wounded healer, ultimately. But sometimes it takes a while for a character to recognize that. They get wounded, that can push them into their healing energies, like activate that. And then if they are able to come back from, that silent solitude mode where they were healing themselves and simultaneously activating like a real, maybe a life path that is right for them, which is to heal others or to assist others. If they can come back from their own silent journey, what they come back with is this huge wealth of, well, in this case, you see her holding this light. She's here holding the torch as well. I'm wondering if this is a character who's realizing not only is my run not over yet as far as love goes, but I'm also realizing I have like a ton to offer. And now I'm seeing other people are walking around feeling burdened and sad and sorrowful and, kind of adrift. And oh my God, I recognize it because I did that for a bit. And I actually told myself this lie that I was supposed to just live silently, solo, kind of in the shadows. And I'm realizing that wasn't true for me and it's not true for them either. I have a bigger purpose. This isn't even just about somebody saying, wow, there's hotties out there that think I'm attractive and now that's a shot of self-esteem and I want to date again. That would be a very simplistic way to tell this story, even though some of that's in here, but that's not all it is. hopefully I'm finding better vocabulary to describe it. There's a heck of a lot more and something way deeper. It's a character who's realizing the fallacy of thinking that at some point in our lives, our usefulness is not anything anybody else wants, and that we're supposed to just isolate ourselves and go off someplace else. That's definitely not the way this character should ever be looking at themselves or their life. Never should they look at themselves or their life like this. But on top of this rejuvenation and this breakthrough, she's also now able to apply it and say, oh my God, there's other people walking around feeling the same way I did, and it's not true for them either. I could maybe bring some of my like rediscovered joy and realization that you have purpose, you have meaning, you are not too old, you are not beyond some time frame of your life where you have a purpose, and that your talents are wanted, and that your charisma is there still. I almost feel like she's got a pretty big mission, and thank God we got her back, because we need her like back in the runnings, right? We need her just like we need him. Like the collective needs this feminine and needs this masculine, and everything that they're bringing to the table. They've got a lot of truths to share. He's super charismatic, and we see that Ace of Swords, which I would put in the masculine category also. He's like crackling with this like very joyful energy. I think the two of them are going to be amazing together. I think the two of them could really inspire. I mean, maybe they're going to be more than lovers and friends. Maybe they're kindred spirits, but maybe they also are realizing that it's really important to make sure that they display some kind of truth. You know, the Ace of Swords is the sword that we cut things away that are unnecessary, and is also the sword of truth. And I'm wondering if this is about vitality and action and what you still can do in your life. You're never at an age where you don't have value, where you can't have love. You're never at an age where that's not possible anymore. And I think that's a really big message. But it's also bringing back vitality. This keeps feeling like this may be a single storyline for characters that either were really prematurely aging themselves, or they are in a much more mature age and they're still realizing this complete truth, and they're starting to live this way, and they're like, I want to bring other people on board and let them know this is what I've discovered. This really is true. I know because I'm walking proof of it. So, you know, like engage. Don't pull yourself away. We got 8 of Coins. We got Page of Wands. This is definitely a new journey in desire and passion and love for the two of them. This is also something that they will, I think they have more to do than just have a love story. I think that this is two people who, I think when they join forces, it's so much more than romance. It's like they have a greater purpose with that 8 of Pentacles. They will work together because they actually kind of see life in the same way. Like I said, when two people come off the bench and they get back into the swing of things and back into life, and they both start to feel more empowered and they're more excited about their lives, I do see they could inspire others. And I think that's maybe a byproduct of these lessons that they've learned, and the two of them like bringing their charismatic personalities together and actually like kind of loving their lives again. This is two people falling in love with their lives again, but also I think falling in love with each other. There's a lot of mutual respect here with the Queen of Wands and that magician energy. I just want to take a look. Their relationship, we have Temperance, we have a 5 of Coins, and we have a King of Wands. So definitely these two are balancing out each other's energy, because we have a perfectly matched pair now, right? We have a King and a Queen of Wands. Whatever age bracket these two are at, they are going to reaffirm to each other that they are extremely attracted to each other because they are attractive individuals. They also balance each other out in what they were needing. They needed to both know that they are, you know, not only wanted and desirable, but that they are vitally alive. I almost wonder if these characters were walking around feeling like ghosts for a while, feeling like nobody notices me. It's just not. But here's the thing. Sometimes we make ourselves a little bit unnoticeable too. We can do that by intending to, like, maybe she's like, oh, I'm not going to go to any public places. I'm only going to go grocery shopping late at night when nobody else is there. I'm going to make sure I keep a hoodie on, hoodie up, don't make eye contact. Well, look, people are not going to probably be busting down our doors to come find us in our houses to meet us and bring us back out into society. We do a lot to push people away when we think we're on a healing journey, and sometimes, it's also us that contributes to the feeling of isolation. And I wonder if that's part of this also, to realize, okay, are we healing and withdrawing, or are we hiding? And that's one of the first questions for our characters to kind of like, I think that they're having these breakthroughs and realizing that. And sometimes we foster this negative image of ourselves that the rest of the world doesn't think that we're unattractive. We hid ourselves away. We told ourselves we're going to be alone. The world didn't tell us that. We told ourselves that. And I love the fact this is characters overcoming that. That's what I see on this one anyway. That these characters are overcoming that. And it's really awesome because I think for both of them, it's like a dream come true. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. You're attracted to me. I'm attracted to you. Yes, that's how it works. Not everybody that we are attracted to will be attracted to us, but both of these characters needed to be reminded that they're not ghosts and that they are really lovely, but also they can't hide out. They shouldn't hide out. They have too much life to live. So very beautiful. And I really like the fact that this might, they might cause like a movement, behaving this way, living this way, recognizing this truth, and then sharing it with others could really help other people to like blossom as well. So very cool. I liked these characters a lot. All right, you guys, so nice to see you. Hi, Deborah. Lightning Cass, you're so sweet. Jessica Edwards, we've been getting some nice characters lately. Sarah J, hey, darling. Bradley Bear, love the Golden Girls. Love the Golden Girls. Fahita Beauty, Paris Jade Humphrey. Sarah Girl, you made it at the very beginning, too. Nice to see you, hun. Hi, T. Love the camel. Annie, as you're first in the house. Hetty, you were second in the house. Fees Mystic Faith, so good to see you guys. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. All right, next up, we will delve into some of the zodiacs today. Thank you guys so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Lots of love. See you again soon.